InShalla and Ashe, blessings to you, my energetic beings. Thanks for tuning in. A little late today, but holistic Sha'medium and subtle energy surgeon here, Tonya D. And welcome to the Daily Snippet. It's September 26, 2021. So I just want to give a little shout out to my new subscribers and listeners. And thank you for ringing the bell and liking my show. It really helps echo that out with the algorithm. So we have an air trine. So what we fear and possibly that inner grief are kind of cascading or kind of going over the hill, I should say, or over the fence. So the odds really of everything shifting when we change how we actually perceive ourselves in our inner garden, in our inner world, just staying open-minded, we're really the only ones holding ourselves at this gate, at this beginning of this portal from our own personal unlimited potential and what that looks like. So take a stand. The shift we can take is really on the inside. And we're really in a place to make that shift today, especially with our third eye open, our visual center, or our colorful movie. So we have like these colors of indigo, deeper blues, deeper purples. Even as I say that out loud, like my third eye is doing this beacon on the inside. So it's kind of the merge of the two colors in a way. Or you could take it to an octave higher and bring in those effervescent colors as well. The spiritual channel could open up. The Om channel, if you will, that would be the seed sound of the day. But I also kept the other seed sounds in the show notes, so you could kind of call in all the seed sounds for the day or the energy of the day. So tune into your third eye as I continue with the elemental energy of the day and kind of just take an inhale. I like to take an inhale and hold for the count of 3 and then do an exhale. I like to do that around 3 times at least and randomly really throughout the day. It just brings me to my center, my beingness. And before I forget, I'm going to be on Walk the Talk again with Tavia. I believe on the 5th of October, just musing about boundaries. I had my own glitch in my day-to-day last week and had to shift a few things. But we have this Yin Fire Ox day on the day, a ding chow day. And look at those 2 dings and those 2 chows right there in the chart, those oxes. So we have water hidden in the branches. We have a lot of metal, the month branch and the year stem, and also hidden in the ox branches as well. We have a lot of metal energy. So our day has a friend right next to it with that yin fire energy, but we don't have any nature and we don't have any wood or even, fire in the branches. They're all on the heavenly stems. So fire is spirit. So bringing spirit to the earth plane, bringing those visions and those dreams down into your beingness, into the earth plane. So it's really just a great day to bring in the element of wood, light a candle for your ancestors or any loved ones, anyone really that have actually crossed the rainbow bridge, animals included. It's really just a great day to find our inner solitude. We have a lot of yin energy there, so it's our inner calibration. So write in a journal and kind of recalibrate your intentions, like tune into them, like what belongs and what doesn't belong. Write even your own personal love story, a love story to yourself. So again, it's all this very yin energy day with all of those elements. So yin really is, it's going in, it's our inner constitution. And we have, our third eye open today. It's online. So you could ask for a movie or your guides to show you a movie of unlimited possibilities in your earth story, your earth journey. And really, I would bring in nature and water and a little bit of fire maybe to ground into today. The earth fire, the candle, star fire is more of the cosmic energy. So there are different influences and different energies. Even though we have water, which is hidden, we can't get to it. So we have no wood or nature showing at all today. I know it's there in the hour, but I don't include the hour because time is always moving. Nothing is ever at a standstill, So even when we can't see it shifting and moving and transforming, it's doing it all the time. So if you could go today to a mountaintop and get a higher view, even like gazing into a picture of a mountaintop, you kind of get this otherworldly perspective, if you will. So you can talk to the guardians of the trees, the water spirits, even the fire spirits. So today really is a magical day for all of that. The moon is in Gemini, so we're thinking about how we feel and open to those thoughts, if you will, because the sun is actually in Libra, so we can open up to that channel. So as we channel into the system of collective beliefs, our own included, the structure of beliefs, it has a feeling of being set free, released, where everything we are connected to has this expanded expansion of like this otherworldly release. So you should really be feeling pretty optimistic, being more open and curious, in alignment with more of a positive looping. Maybe you have an intuitive sense where you can see being behind the curtain, if you will, or for me, it's like this galactic tear in the universe into other realms, if you will. So even the veil. So you probably are going to feel this in your relationship to yourself, your inner garden of self, that personal love story, if you will, right? So how you relate to yourself. So yesterday I had a small meltdown, if you will. I thought I broke my wrist, which actually they don't know yet, but I have this little wrist brace on. I slipped and fell right onto my hip. Coffee went flying. It was awesome. Not sure if it was my hip that took the impact or my elbow, my wrist, whatever. But that's physical. That's the physical world. It's a physical, energetic hiccup in the physical realm. So that tells me that I really wasn't rooted physically. So with that said, you might have been a bit emotional yesterday, whatever that looks like for you. Random bursts of rain, crying is really healthy. I always say let it rip. But today, it's as if the clouds open up to that corridor. So you get to see the magic wherever you go and explore like a new phenomenon, be a pioneer, if you will, take in a new learning, a new perspective. You know, God universe has opened the gateway to see yourself with these new vibrant eyes from the way you look at yourself in your day to day or what you believe about yourself to be true. So if there's something you don't want to see on the opposing side of that etheric mirror, it's going to be under God universe's microscope today. The thread of consciousness that's connected to what I call the God channel. So anything that you're avoiding within yourself, because we limit our perspective a lot of the time based on our journey, our experiences, our trials and tribulations, our parents, society, even the brainwashing sometimes of the media, or the program, you know, the saying, get with the program. So when you have a different perspective, you know, that might trigger someone. And I myself, I usually go with the opposing program, the rebel inside of me, I guess. So these limitations that we put on ourselves are like a cosmic cobweb, an energetic hiccup, if you will. So the magic itself can only come from the channel of our heart's opinions and observations with this otherworldly, enlightened, more perspective. So we have subscriptions, or what I call subscriptions, that we subscribe to, whether it's in relation to ourselves or otherwise, based on certain beliefs in that subscription channel. So they might be outdated and they really need to be renewed or even recycled. They could also be limiting us, limiting you, maybe a false narrative in your story. So in every conversation that you have with yourself today, you know, mental clarity, mental, spiritual acuity, if you will, or your acumen. So kind of ask your heart at its core, the base level of your heart, what you truly believe about yourself, that authentic aspect. So in order to really get a new subscription or renew the channel, you need to release those habitual answers. So put your left hand, this is my left hand, by the way, put it on your heart. I do this whenever I ask a question, by the way. I just ask as you are looking in the physical mirror, in the physical world, not the etheric mirror, which you could also do that really, but ask your heart if you believe those things about yourself to be true, about you, or what is the true belief, the authentic belief? So we often pick up on everybody else's beliefs and we never question the belief or the narrative. So today, it really is this magical day to explore the narrative of those beliefs in the channel, where you can look into yourself, look into your inner world, those ingredients in your life, all the aspects. Look with new eyes and explore perspectives, seeing those perspectives with those new eyes, like a point of view that's actually more curious. I like to question everything and really explore your feelings about what you believe in your heart, your directive, your center, authentically, down to the core truth and those wants. So, really try a different navigation system with self love. Maybe you take the time and the space to learn higher, brighter ways, or even both, and respect and value yourself. It's like upcycling your own personal self esteem, that channel over the last year, the experience. That's kind of what I call it, where you're feeling more or less valued on the inside, maybe. So, is that the value you believe you deserve? And really try a new belief today and really put a stamp on it and see the relationship that you have to yourself with like a higher perspective, a new point of view, different eyes, if you will. So, really try something that you've never tried before. Be loving to yourself all day long. So, any negative thought, just flick it literally out of your field, hold the ground, take a stand, and just to be magical. And affirm your new belief as the day kind of cascades through like a river flowing, or just put yourself on autopilot and all day just forgive yourself for anything you might perceive, as a mistake in your inner corridor today. So if you want to give yourself a boost, just really try loving yourself unconditionally all day long. Even if you spilled the milk or fell and cracked your wrist, just be more loving. Like I was totally sending love juju to my wrist yesterday. But just by switching the subscription channel, you boost your inner love of yourself, the relationship that you have to yourself, and more importantly, the beliefs that you have about yourself. So make it a day to be kind to you, be loving to you, be courageous, be brave to you, and also be magical. That would be what I always say. I'm always affirming that I am magical. So we still have our cute little archangel, Jophiel, lighting up our beauty that resides within us and our channel we subscribe to, our belief channel. We have Jophiel to assist us in that narrative. And for fun, just for fun, here we go. Bingo. Whoops. Where am I? Oh, here I am. There we go. Let's get rid of this little guy. Dun, 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 dun. So the animal totem of the day, I went with the snakes. And snakes can mean a variety of different things. So this is especially true in the indigenous cultures all over the world. Some places the snake meaning is different than even a neighboring country or even a tribe. So the message of the snake is letting us know that transformation is actually in progress at the current moment. So you're shedding this old skin, those old emotions, and transforming them into something even bigger and better. So change is like on the wind. It's also a reminder that we are at the center of it all as this catalyst. So smooth out the process and make sure your intentions are really clear and just have a sense of the direction that you want to, like a snake, strike out at if you've ever seen a snake strike. So it's also letting us know that these changes they're safe. So there's no need to actually fear them. It's also symbolic of reminding us to stay connected to ourselves. There's more information required. So observe both those tiny vibrations in the earth and the warmth and also the smell of the air and the sky. So when we learn to connect with our surroundings, we can actually continue to grow. Then we can discard all the trappings of the old, of the past. So if you want to put a snake in the comments, I can read what that snake is symbolic of in general. So I'm just going to go over a few of them because they had a bunch of different snakes. The boa constrictor. So if you have a boa constrictor, let's come into your life. It's letting us know that when you hold on to those that you love too tightly, you might suffocate any progress that they're actually going to make in their own life. So be protective, but allow them to make their own mistakes. You don't want to like tighten it up too tight, if you will. A rattlesnake, I mean, I live in Utah, so we have rattlesnakes, but this snake actually is a reminder that we need to be more alert to the warnings of others. And we should also be respectful of their boundaries and also our boundaries. Be gentle, courteous towards them as they kind of muddle through the mud. It also reminds us that we should warn others before we strike. Another meaning, it can indicate that there will be an increase in the activities of spirits in our lives. So you're going to be able to sense their presence clearly and much more frequently at this time. So you'll be able to detect energy and see auras. And actually, now is really the time when you must trust what you feel and what you sense, no matter how strange that might seem. The viper. If a viper comes into your life, it's a warning that there is something in your inner circle of friends and family that you cannot trust. So in other words, with this type of snake as a symbol, watch for signs of hypocrisy, slander, maliciousness. And once you spot them, give them a wide kind of berth and refuse to engage in that nasty little game. But people with a common snake totem spirit animal, they're finding that they are going through constant changes in their lives. Luckily, they usually move through them smoothly. They also have this natural ability to balance energy. So often people with this spirit animal are really, truly gifted healers. So folks with the snake totem are very charming in social situations. Even the snake in the four pillars, like their eyes are very charming. It's like that Jungle Book little character when the snake is like putting him in a trance. But they're also really good at holding other people's attention. So what that means is there's something mysterious about their gaze, their intensity, and also the ability to sense what others are thinking or feeling. So also with this charm, there's also this confidence and self-assurance, probably a higher self-esteem really, that a lot of people find more alluring. So people with this power animal can kind of slither like a snake in and out of the conversation with more ease and grace, but they're also very flexible and also open-minded. So a constricting snake as a totem, they are more powerful and intimidating, but they do have a gentleness about them that's not readily apparent. They are also quick to take action in pursuit of their goals. If you have a constrictor snake as your totem, you're more focused, you rely on your instincts and sense the other worlds, which is awesome, especially when I get to the card of today. But they even occasionally tend to bite off more than they can chew. And they sometimes or always seem to actually land on their feet. So if you have a constrictor snake totem, just be careful that you're not overprotective of your friends or your loved ones. The last thing you really want to do is smother anyone, right? Now, poisonous snakes of all types, a venomous snake, they're magnetically charismatic. They communicate very well and will also warn others before they strike. So if you have this type of spirit animal, the snake, the poisonous snake, you move swiftly through all your transformations. You'll also stand your ground when situations get tricky or sticky. However, you don't really know when it is appropriate to really retreat. So if you have a poisonous snake as a totem, you heal from your past traumas more swiftly and even efficiently. And you also spend time detoxifying yourselves from all those external forces that cling to their energetic bodies. So if you have a snake in a dream, which I have had a snake in my dream before, in some cases, it can symbolize temptation and dangerous, forbidden sexuality. So to see a snake on your bed in a dream suggests that you are feeling overpowered and sexually threatened, or you may be inexperienced and nervous or just unable to keep up. So if you're afraid of the serpent, it signifies your fears of sex, intimacy, or even commitment. To be bitten by one in a dream could mean that you're hiding your fears and your worries, and they're coming back to actually bite at you. And the vision could also be alerting you to something in your life that you're not aware of or that has not been surfaced yet. It's still under the rug. A snake dream can also refer to a person around you who is ruthless and can't be trusted. So when your snake dream kind of reveals only the skin of the animal, then it means you have protection from illness. So oftentimes a dream in which you have the snake serpent without eyes or a head could signify that you're ignoring the danger in a situation. It could also mean that you're going to be blindsided by something. If the snake's intertwined, you could, if you saw creatures, and a bunch of numbers, and actually, Lake Powell in water, when a bunch of rattlesnakes are in the water, they literally intertwine and make a ball and roll in the water to get to safety. But if they're intertwined in your vision, it reveals inner turmoil or confusion. So, it really means that you need to spend more time untangling your emotions so that you can get really to the bottom of your distress, and that things aren't, they're not always how they appear on the surface. If it's coiled in your dream, it symbolizes the need for you to strike on an opportunity. So if the coiled serpent is red, then the possibility must be handled carefully and also correctly for it to work. A green coiled snake dream indicates that the opportunity will transcend beyond your expectations. But it would be better if you just acted swiftly in that narrative. And I also, hang on, I pulled another snake because I thought he was just so pretty. Look at that beautiful snake. Yeah, I just like that. So an ascending snake dream. So when you have a white snake dream that seems to be drifting upwards, it's a positive symbol. This creature actually represents healing, transformation, knowledge, and also wisdom. So it's similar to the crow, where your vision indicates self-renewal, positive change, spiritual enlightenment. But if the snake is descending, that's symbolic of the underworld, and that you might have to journey into the dark side, actually to heal and transform an old issue into inner strength. So if you have an injured or a dead snake dream, this is really just a heads up warning that you need to make an effort to move in a positive direction in your life before it's actually too late to move. But it's also a message that you must stop clinging to your past and using it as an excuse not to progress in life. Everybody can really move past their traumas, but it always takes an effort, right? Nothing generally is one and done. Now, here we go. Ding dong. So of course, my phone is not loving me lately. So the card of the day, I went with my oracle deck, my mystical shaman oracle deck, mostly because I was thinking about the snakes, the symbology in the indigenous ways and the cultures. And I pulled the upper world. So this is where all of our angels, the helpers, the guardians, the otherworldly beings, if you will, the ancient ones, all of those luminous otherworldly beings, the ones that reside really in the upper world. So this is a place that we all can go to retrieve our destiny and find out really who we will authentically become. So it's magical that I really pulled this card today. So it's a place of discovery, discovering our potentials, any of those undreamt of possibilities, otherworldly messages. It's a place where our ancestors actually go when they complete their journey to the light. So the upper world is calling us to step into our pure, authentic potential, our fullness of who we really are, and to clear all those distractions so that we can actually move to a higher realm, a higher destiny or density in a weird way. So don't fall into the crevice, the temptations, crafting a slightly more improved version of who you are inside of yourself. So it's like the snake, it's shedding the old skin so you can be enlightened in a higher frequency vibration. It really just goes with the energy of today, really, getting an otherworldly perspective. So oftentimes, even when I do my cowrie shell divinations, there's different symbols in the shells that mean actually the snake is in there. same thing and where it lands. So we can look with new eyes. So even if you perceive a problem as an obstacle, it's this wake up call. It's a wake up, or maybe the irritation, that it's time to really take the leap into the unknown. I kind of think of Star Trek, going into the unknown. So it's kind of about baby steps. Have you made a continual connection with your ancestors, any of the otherworldly beings, your gatekeeper, a divine helper, even an archangel, or any angelic being, really? Today is a great day to call them in for a higher perspective, or at least an otherworldly one. I would totally do that today, because our psychic spidey senses might be kind of triggered today, and our ego self is kind of sensing a new thread, a balance in the waves of action that we might take. So if your mental fears are kind of distracting you, just kind of shift and create a way to kind of integrate any of that false evidence in the shift. I have a conversation with it all the time. It gives my mind and my ego kind of something to navigate on the threadways and kind of work on. So you just might find yourself in a higher frequency of love for yourself for just kind of doing that. So really just be in the flow of your mind about your personal belief channel, your subscription channel. Renew that channel. Really trust your gut and what you feel inside of your beingness. So this door is open to all of the possibilities and all of those capabilities today. So just be open to learn more, maybe understand things differently, get a new view, that perspective. Release the old story that you might have defined yourself as. It's like your reputation. I talk about that, how to shift your reputation in the energy body Demystified. So you can really write a new story, a new reputation, if you will. So we have the energy of nature to transform the narrative with a new visual perspective. Just shifting our personal view really transforms our inner self. And it's really okay to give yourself soul credit or soul capital for your own personal growth. Pat yourself on the back. Really look how far you have come, and then look kind of future forward. That could be 10 days, 6 months, whatever you feel called to, for that growth and also that credit. An affirmation I would say today, with all the cards and everything going on, it's like, I am shifting my soul story in alignment with a higher perspective, looking through the eye of God or the eyes of God, and kind of just call that in. I would call in your gatekeeper and just be open. Utilize your visual channel, create a movie, allow the other worldly beings to kind of show you a new movie, if you will. Just kind of breathe that into your beingness. Obviously, you have to be centered and grounded. Call in your protectors, your guardian, your gatekeeper. It's kind of what I do when I start channeling for safety. It's like my own personal safety net, and be congruent with your being. So with all of that, thanks for tuning in. And as always, I will see you on the other side.